I followed my gut instinct. It said, go to the food. I let it guide me out of the city and right to the source. I wanted that farm fresh, straight out the dirt, organic, biodynamic, tropical, local, farmed with love and pride stuff. Yeah, I wanted to participate, and I said, pay me in food, because that's what I'd spend it on anyways. This was it. Not just eating to live, but truly living to eat. Hashtag the food life. Hashtag send foods. Welcome in, fam. Much love, Trav here. So, got a question in the comments, a suggestion for a video, and I love suggestions and videos basically talking about diet, asking me what I'm eating on the daily, and this applies to everybody. I mean, everybody has a diet, obviously, whatever you're eating is, and some of us have more or less strategy to it. So I'm gonna walk you through what I think for food. Mine's a little extreme, but I'm also gonna talk about thoughts along the way and give you some tools to eat healthier, have a better diet that tastes good and makes you feel good, whether you're in the city, whether you're in the country, wherever you're at. So I'll start off with what I think is the basic of like what makes a good diet. People will say a good diet is the one that you can stick to, because if you can't stick to it, what's the point? I would say that a good diet is a diet that tastes good, makes you feel good, and heals/prevents illness, disease. Okay? Really simple. It should taste good. It doesn't have to be, because that makes it easy to stick to. It doesn't have to be bland. It shouldn't be bland, right? And it should make you feel good, right? It shouldn't make you feel bad. You shouldn't physically feel sluggish. You shouldn't feel sick. You shouldn't feel shameful or guilty, right? You should feel energized. It's normal, it's normal though if you eat a big meal, even if it's good, you will be tired to take a nap or go to sleep for the night. So, but it should give you energy. You should feel extra energy the next day. You should feel extra healthy, extra mental clarity, and it should heal and prevent disease, right? It should help you, heal you from diabetes or whatever, your physical injuries, inflammation. It should slow cancer, prevent cancer, These sorts of things a diet can do. Very simple. So, what it is can be a lot of things depending on what you are. I'm talking about some more specifics, but like you take like fast food, it tastes good. It makes you feel bad though, right? You feel kind of good immediately as you eat it, but afterwards you feel sick, you feel sluggish, you feel shameful, right? And it's not going to prevent disease. Whereas if you eat just chicken and rice, maybe you feel good, maybe it'll be healthy, but it's not going to taste good. So you want to find that kind of intermediary, that happy medium, and that thing that hits it all and gives you everything that you need. So, I came from the city, I grew up in the city, and some things that I found, let me walk you through this. Like, for real, I was a foodie. I love to eat. I love to work out. I wanted a lifestyle where I could eat a lot of food without being unhealthy, and I could eat good food. And the more curious I became about food and eating it, the more I realized like the quality matters. Chicken is not chicken, right? A chicken that lived outside and ran around picking bugs out of the ground is different from a chicken that had its beak cut off because it's crammed in over concrete with so many other chickens that they're biting each other. And its stress is out of control. It's being injected with antibiotics and stuff like that. Same with a cow is not a cow. You have these outside cows you bike past in the countryside, chewing on grass, and then you have these inside cows that are eating grain they're not supposed to eat, shot up with antibiotics, etc. So one thing is like you want to know the quality of your food, and that's like organic is a safe bet. It's better, but also what the hell does free range even mean? Well, like, did it live on a pasture? And in order to really know that, it helps to, if you're actually there, like, where did this food come from? Can you go to the farm? So that led me to like, I want to go to the farm. I want to check it out. I want to be able to look it on Google Maps, or I want to call the farmer. I want to be able to ask some questions, right? So that sort of really, you don't have to, but like, that's not, most people are not going to be farmers. That's not the point. But like, you can go to a farmer's market to get your produce and talk to the farmers. You go to, if there's a co-op, there's like Whole Foods, we'll try to source locally, PCC in Seattle, try to go to a health food. It's very worth it because this food is more flavorful, it tastes better. Like, that's one thing, is if it's, you're eating locally, you're sourcing locally, it's generally going to taste better because the locally sourced food is more interested in taste and nutrition than shelf stability. The stuff that's shipped in from far away, generally those are breeds, those are strains that are designed to last a long time in a storage container at the cost of taste. It's why like iceberg lettuce doesn't taste like anything. Whereas if you get some really good baby green lettuce mix, it actually will taste good for the first 3 days until it spoils, right? But so that's only viable if it's local. So like you want to ideally not live in a food desert, but be able to source it locally, right? So that's why organic is a good thing. That's why local is a good thing. Biodynamic, basically like the idea behind biodynamic is that the farm's a living organism, and that's some Rudolf Steiner stuff, but you have a bunch of different things going on. It's all synergistic and so on, and like you don't need to know about that. But now I'll talk a little bit about like what I'm eating. So before I moved to the farm, it really varied, but I'm trying to go to health food stores, and I'm focused on a diet that I can adhere to that makes me feel good, taste good, and prevents disease. So you can be really strict, but you don't have to be, because you don't want to have to rely on willpower, and you establish some habits, but you don't want them to be particularly hard to establish. And you really want it to taste good, because the better it tastes, the easier it will be to stick to. So that means like if you're eating all your stuff that you're cooking, you need to make sure to salt the food, because your body actually needs that, and it tastes good. And if you don't salt your food, you're gonna have cravings for French fries, you're gonna have cravings for chips, you're gonna have cravings for Big Macs. So you need to make sure that you spice it up and you make your food tasty, right? So it also depends a lot on budget, but go for the things that are food, avoid the things that are food products. A food product has been processed so much on a shelf, shipped from a long way away, stays in its container, it doesn't go bad for years. Ants aren't going to want to eat it. You probably don't want to eat it either. So it can taste good. You can eat desserts, you can snack if you want. I mean, you can be like, okay, I'm not going to eat bread, I'm not going to eat gluten. Well, like, what about the quality of the bread? If it's good wheat and it's milled and processed and baked nearby you, it's going to be a different thing, right? So that's why like understanding quality is really, really important. And it's why you can pay more for less food and eat that and have better results, right? So what am I actually eating? Another thing to pay attention to is diet timing. I am not super strict on this, but something you want to pay attention to is eating window. How many hours of the day you eating, how many hours of the days you're not. So like right now, for instance, I generally finish eating by 8, and I don't start eating until maybe 9 a.m. I finish at 8 p.m., 9 a.m. So I have a 13-hour fasting window and 11-hour eating window. I hear some people say you want to be 15 hours or whatever, but the idea behind that is compress it down, give your gut some time to rest, and when you're eating, your gut and your brain have kind of a zero-sum relationship when it comes to energy and blood. So on an empty stomach, your brain is fully powered. On a full stomach, your gut is fully powered and your brain is turned off. So that's why you get sleepy and you get foggy and slow and sluggish after eating a lot of food. So one thing I would recommend for diet in general is like not to eat breakfast until you do some of the most important things in the morning. So wait a couple hours on breakfast. You don't have to, but that's a recommendation that I have, whatever your diet is. Pay attention to that window. I have some friends who are more about it, and in the past I have been where I don't eat till 5 p.m. and then I eat like 2 massive dinners, and I have like a 19-hour fasting window. I find that feels really good, but it's also not necessarily that practical, because that'll cause you to like nap and fall asleep and sacrifice your evening social. It depends what you want, but some things to think about. Okay, so what am I actually eating? It depends on what time you ask me. This year, and a lot of this is just kind of a function of what they feed me. I kind of followed this lifestyle, like I want to go to the farm, and we have a farm to table cafe, and they feed me what they feed me, and I'm a little bit selective. Like I don't want to minimize the cheese, I want to minimize the processed foods, but it's like in the morning we have locally sourced and from our farm fruit, and I have salad. And I've been in the habit of bread and butter from the mainland, but I'm working on not doing that anymore because I don't think I need it. Don't think it's healthy. Try to eat farm fresh, our own eggs instead, because I know those are good. And then lunch comes later. Go with a vegetable soup and or a salad with that, and then lots of stir-fry veggies, lots of locally sourced meat from the islands, fish for dinner hopefully. See, a lot of this stuff is like garnished with, this one's garnished with mangoes, this one has uwala, sweet potato, this one also garnished with mangoes. You see carrots and stuff like that to go with it. So not meat at every meal, not needed at every meal, not needing to eat tons of meat. Focus on, like I said, is it local? Was it healthy? Is it organic? Did it live well? Was it farmed with love? And I prefer to participate in it. It's the full food lifestyle. But when I was not farming, it's basically health food stores, farmers markets, ideally. Even signing up for a CSA is something you can do. I didn't do that because I volunteered for my produce, but you can basically sign up to pick up a box or get a box delivered to you from local farms, and then that way you know it's good. So hope you find that helpful. I'll give you some tips and some small things you can do for diet. Again, I do agree that one of the best diets is basically whatever you can adhere to. And what makes it easy to adhere to is it should taste good and it should make you feel good. And then if you have those things down, aim for things that will heal and or prevent illness and disease. And then you could do some crazy stuff like I'm going on keto, I'm going on ketosis, I'm going on extreme intermittent fasting, and all this extreme protein, all this stuff. That's fine, but like if you just focus on eating good, healthy food, over time you'll be the weight that you should be. You'll have the health that you should have. And me personally, I was like, this matters so much to me that I'm going to go and work for my food and participate because I want to see it. So I hope you find that helpful and useful. I appreciate you. I look forward to hearing what you have to say in the comments. You can share your diet or some things you thought resonated or some things you thought were off. And please, more video topic requests, because that's pretty helpful. It saves me time from having to think stuff through. I've made videos like this in the past, but I learn more stuff and I forget, I think like I made a video, so I don't need to go back to that topic. So people want to request stuff in health, fitness, relationships, lifestyle, farming, travel, and stuff like that. I'm happy to do it. So here we go. Appreciate you. Talk to you soon, and much love, fam.